Hi everyone, welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie and today we're on day 155. Welcome to the channel. I am so happy that you're here today. We're going to be reading out of Deuteronomy chapter 13 and 14, Isaiah chapter 41, but only verses 1 through 16, 1 Corinthians chapter 2, and then we're going to close out the day with Psalm chapter 90, but only verses 1 through 10. So let's get started with Deuteronomy chapter 13 and 14. Here we go. If a prophet or a dreamer of dreams arises among you, and he gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes to pass, of which he spoke to you, saying, "Let's go after other gods, which you have not known, and let's serve them," you shall not listen to the words of that prophet or to that dreamer of dreams, for Yahweh your God is testing you to know whether you love Yahweh your God with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall walk after Yahweh your God, fear him, keep his commandments, and obey his voice. You shall serve him and cling to him. That prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken rebellion against Yahweh your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to draw you aside out of the way which Yahweh your God commanded you to walk in. So you shall remove the evil from among you. If your brother, the son of your mother, or your son or your daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your friend who is as your own soul entices you secretly, saying, "Let's go and serve other gods," which you have not known, nor your fathers, of the gods of the people who are around you, near you, or far off from you, from the one end of the earth even to the other end of the earth, you shall not consent to him, nor listen to him. Neither shall your eyes pity him, neither shall you spare, neither shall you conceal him, but you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be first on him to put him to death, and afterwards the hands of all the people. You shall stone him to death with stones, because he has sought to draw you away from Yahweh your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. All Israel shall hear and fear, and shall not do any more wickedness like this among you. If you hear about one of your cities, which Yahweh your God gives you to dwell there, that certain wicked fellows have gone out from among you and have drawn away the inhabitants of their city, saying, "Let's go and serve other gods, which you have not known," then you shall inquire, investigate, and ask diligently. Behold, if it is true, and the thing certain, that such abomination was done among you, you shall surely strike the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, with all that is therein, and its livestock, with the edge of the sword. You shall gather all the plunder into the middle of its street, and shall burn with fire the city, with all of its plunder, to Yahweh your God. It shall be a heap forever. It shall not be built again. Nothing of the devoted thing shall cling to your hand, that Yahweh may turn from the fierceness of his anger and show you mercy, and have compassion on you, and multiply you, as he has sworn to your fathers. When you listen to Yahweh your God's voice, to keep all his commandments, which I command you today, to do that which is right in Yahweh your God's eyes. Chapter 14. You are the children of Yahweh your God. You shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. For you are a holy people to Yahweh your God, and Yahweh has chosen you to be a people for his own possession, above all peoples who are on the face of the earth. You shall not eat any abominable thing. These are the animals which you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roebuck, the wild goat, the ibex, the antelope, and the chamois. Every animal that parts the hoof and has the hoof split in two and chews the cud, among the animals you may eat. Nevertheless, these you shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of those who have the hoof split. The camel, the hare, the rabbit. Oh, that's it. Just the camel, the hare, and the rabbit. Because they chew the cud, but don't part the hoof, they are unclean to you. The pig, because it has a split hoof, but doesn't chew the cud, is unclean to you. You shall not eat their meat. You shall not touch their carcass. These you may eat of all that are in the waters. You may eat whatever has fins and scales. You shall not eat whatever doesn't have fins and scales. It is unclean to you. Of all clean birds you may eat, but these are they of which you shall not eat: the eagle, the vulture, the osprey, the red kite, the falcon, the kite of any kind, every raven of any kind, the ostrich, the owl, the seagull, the hawk of any kind, the little owl, the great owl, the horned owl, the pelican, the vulture, the cormorant, the stork, the heron after its kind, the hoopoe, and the bat. All winged creeping things are unclean to you. They shall not be eaten. Of all clean birds you may eat. You shall not eat of anything that dies of itself. You may give it to a foreigner living among you who is within your gates, that he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner, for you are a holy people to Yahweh your God. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. You shall surely tithe all the increase of your seed, that which comes out of the field year by year. You shall eat before Yahweh your God in the place which he chooses to cause his name to dwell, the tithe of your grain, of your new wine, and of your oil, and the firstborn of your herd and of your flock, that you may learn to fear Yahweh your God always. If the way is too long for you, so that you are not able to carry it, because the place which Yahweh your God shall choose to set his name there is too far from you, when Yahweh your God blesses you, then you shall turn it into money. Bind up the money in your hand, and shall go to the place which Yahweh your God shall choose. You shall trade the money for whatever your soul desires, for cattle, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatever your soul asks of you. You shall eat there before Yahweh your God, and you shall rejoice, you and your household. You shall not forsake the Levite who is within your gates, for he has no portion nor inheritance with you. At the end of every 3 years you shall bring all the tithe of your increase in the same year, and shall store it within your gates. The Levite, because he has no portion nor inheritance with you, as well as the foreigner living among you, the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates shall come, and shall eat and be satisfied, that Yahweh your God may bless you in all the work of your hands which you do. All right. Isaiah 41, 1 through 16. I have some thoughts about Deuteronomy, but I will hold my thoughts and let you think about those words. Keep silent before me, islands, and let the peoples renew their strength. Let them come near, then let them speak. Let's meet together for judgment. Who has raised up one from the east? Who called him to his feet in righteousness? He hands over nations to him and makes him rule over kings. He gives them like the dust to his sword, like the driven stubble to his bow. He pursues them and passes by safely, even by the way that he had not gone with his feet. Who has worked and done it, calling the generations from the beginning? I, Yahweh, the first, and with the last, I am He. The islands have seen and fear. The ends of the earth tremble. They approach and come. Everyone helps his neighbor, and they say to their brothers, "Be strong." So the carpenter encourages the goldsmith. He who smooths with the hammer encourages him who strikes the anvil, saying of the solderer, "It is good," and he fastens it with nails, that it might not totter. But you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the offspring of Abraham, my friend, you whom I have taken hold of from the ends of the earth, and called from its corners, and said to you, "You are my servant. I have chosen you, and have not cast you away." Don't you be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. Yes, I will uphold you with my right hand of my righteousness. Behold, all those who are incensed against you will be disappointed and confounded. Those who strive with you will be like nothing and shall perish. You will seek them and won't find them. Even those who contended with you, those who war against you, will be as nothing, as a non-existent thing. For I, Yahweh your God, will hold your right hand, saying to you, "Don't be afraid, I will help you. Don't be afraid, you worm Jacob, and you men of Israel. I will help you," says Yahweh. Your Redeemer is the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I have made you into a new sharp threshing instrument with teeth. You will thresh the mountains and beat them small, and will make the hills like chaff. You will winnow them, and the wind will carry them away, and the whirlwind will scatter them. You will rejoice in Yahweh. You will glory in the Holy One of Israel. Oh, I love that. Don't you be afraid. Don't you be afraid, for I am with you. If there is a loop that I would like in my head all day long, don't you be afraid, for I am with you. Don't you be afraid, for I am with you. Don't you be afraid, for I am with you. Don't you be afraid, for I am with you, says Yahweh. All right, 1 Corinthians chapter 2. When I came to you, brothers, I didn't come with excellence of speech or of wisdom, proclaiming to you the testimony of God. For I determined not to know anything among you except Jesus Christ and Him crucified. I was with you in weakness, in fear, and in much trembling. My speech and my preaching were not in persuasive words of human wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power, that your faith wouldn't stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God. We speak wisdom, however, among those who are full grown, yet a wisdom not of this world, nor of the rulers of this world who are coming to nothing. But we speak of God's wisdom in a mystery, the wisdom that has been hidden, which God foreordained before the worlds for our glory, which none of the rulers of this world has known. For had they known it, they wouldn't have crucified the Lord of glory. But as it is written, things which an eye didn't see, and an ear didn't hear, which didn't enter into the heart of man, these God has prepared for those who love him. But to us, God revealed them through the Spirit. For the Spirit searches all things, yes, the deep things of God. For who among men knows the things of a man except the spirit of the man which is in him? Even so, no one knows the things of God except God's Spirit. But we received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is from God, that we might know the things that were freely given to us by God. We also speak these things, not in words which man's wisdom teaches, but which the Holy Spirit teaches, comparing spiritual things with spiritual things. Now the natural man doesn't receive the things of God's Spirit, for they are foolishness to him, and he can't know them because they are spiritually discerned. But he who is spiritual discerns all things, and he himself is to be judged by no one. For who has known the mind of the Lord, that he should instruct him? But we have Christ. I'm going to read that again. It's the last verse. Okay, I'm going to read that again. I am so sorry. I was tripped up a little bit by a footnote. Verse 16. For who has known the mind of the Lord, that he should instruct him? But we have Christ's mind. So there are footnotes here. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 13. Do you mind if I go back? Because I'm really curious why it would say we have Christ's mind. All right. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 13. Who has directed Yahweh's Spirit, or has taught him as his counselor? Who did he take counsel with? And who instructed him, and taught him in the path of justice, and taught him knowledge, and showed him the way of understanding? Wow. Thank you for that little rabbit trail. All right, that's what's kind of cool. If you don't have a Bible, if you are thinking about getting a Bible, while this translation is fantastic, the only reason I purchased this translation is because it is public domain, and I didn't want to get into the copyright shenanigans that goes on with platforms. So there is no copyright on this other than the photos and the maps, and so that's why I have them. I don't know if you can see. Well, there's okay, well, anyway, there's sticky notes in here where there's photos. So anyway, if you are thinking about getting a Bible, I would really encourage you to save your money and get a study Bible. A study Bible will give you everything that you need to read. But at the very bottom, at each verse, it will explain, what that verse means. And it really opens things up if you have a study Bible. So, okay, let's close out this day. I'm awfully chatty. I apologize. Psalm chapter 90, verses 1 through 10. Here we go. I'm chatty because I don't want the day to end, but you probably have things to do. So let's go. This is a prayer by Moses the man of God. Lord, you have been our dwelling place for all generations. Before the mountains were born, before you had formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. You turn man to destruction, saying, "Return, you children of men. For 1,000 years in your sight are just like yesterday when it is past, like a watch in the night. You sweep them away as they sleep. In the morning they sprout like new grass. In the morning it sprouts and springs up. By evening it is withered and dry. For we are consumed in your anger. We are troubled in your wrath. You have set our iniquities before you, our secret sins in the light of your presence. For all our days have passed away in your wrath. We bring our years to an end as a sigh. The days of our years are 70, or even by reason of strength 80 years. Yet their pride is but labor and sorrow, for it passes quickly, and we flew away." Well, we will finish that tomorrow. Whew. That's kind of a rough one to end on. But, it brings me to think about when God created, He created everything. And at the end of every single creation, He just sat back and marveled and said, "It is good. That is really good." And even when He created us, that is really good. He loves us. He loves us so much. And these rules and commandments and ordinances that He set up in the Old Testament, they weren't set up so that He could have a thumb on us and control us. No, He created us with a brain and to think for ourselves, which is how we got wrapped up with the tree of good and evil. We could think for ourselves. God created us because He loves us. And He set these rules for us because He loves us. He didn't want us eating certain animals because, in my opinion, we know through science that some of these animals are not really great for our human body. We don't digest them properly. Don't eat the blood or drink the blood or whatever. We know that blood carries, virus or something harmful to us. All these things that He has set up. Don't become friends with the people in this town because they don't listen to me, they don't follow me, and they're probably doing things that will hurt us. He loves us. It's the only reason for the commandments and the ordinances. And with our brains and our free will, we just continue marching on our own way. Which is why He sent Jesus, right? In the new covenant. So while we go on our way and ignoring what God should have for us, if we are in relationship with Jesus, we will be asking for forgiveness. We will be more careful to follow the commandments. It will just come naturally. Oh my gosh. How long have we been going? 25 minutes. I apologize. I will say this one last thing. So this is what happened. So I had some dental work done. This will be a whole nother story that I'm not even going to get involved with. But I ended up having 2 teeth pulled. And so I did a bunch of pre-recordings so that I didn't have to record with a droopy mouth or, whatever comes along with that. So I really haven't been sitting here for a while. And I love reading to you guys. So I think that's why I'm chatty. I wish we were all sitting here at my table having coffee and croissants. That would be fun, but okay, maybe another day. Come on back for tomorrow where I will be much more disciplined, I promise. Tomorrow will be day 156, and have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow.